Okay, are you investing your money at this point, or are you mostly spending it?
No, most of the money I'm actually hiding it because early on I've never been a fan of the banks. I'm still not. I don't like the interest rates. I don't like a lot of stuff they do. So I'm actually
Wait. But you don't get an interest rate in terms of what? Putting it into an account and getting an interest on it?
Yeah, I personally just feel like there was more. Now remember, I'm in mid-20s, so I'm not nowhere near as educated as I am now.
Okay.
But early on, I'm just like, nah, keep the money out the bank. Fractional reserve banking, this and that. I got all my banking words people been putting into me, or I know that I feel like I just got this bank conspiracy theory figured out. So every time I would get money, I would go withdraw it and either hide it at my house or my dad's house.
Right. I mean, the only problem with that is that because of inflation, if you just keep it in cash, you're technically losing money every day.
Right. I know.
Right?
Yeah.
You know now.
Yeah, I know now. Yeah.
You know, but back then, I get it. You know, I mean, like, I remember when I first started getting money, I started reading books on Warren Buffett and seeing how he did it, and reading Benjamin Graham, which the person he learned from, and I'm like, okay, you know, I've tried to flip my money in the past so many times, giving it to people who said they could double and triple it, and every time it would end up, you know, losing all the money.
Same here.
So I'm like, okay, I'm realizing now that the money's coming, I need to learn how to invest it.
Right.
And for me, investing in stocks was the greatest choice of my life. Like, I would not be where I am today if I just kept spending the money I was making.
Right.
I would be still paycheck to paycheck. So you're making money, and now you're making hundreds of thousands. You're just keeping it, what, under your mattress pretty much?
Yeah, literally. I had a duffel bag that I kept under my mattress, and then I had a tote bag that I kept at my dad's house. And the plans was to invest. I did start investing eventually, but I just was real... I ain't gonna lie, but I just never had seen that type of money. So I was like, I'm not letting the bank hold $500,000. I'm gonna hold my $500,000.
All right. Wasn't there a video where you had you counted 400,000 in cash?
Yeah. That was me. Now at that point, by that time I had 5 children, because I remember one of my babies is literally crawling around. That's knowledge. But yeah, me and Derrick sat down and we counted out like 430 grand cash.
And this is on video.
Yeah, it's on video.
You're publicly releasing.
Right.
Me personally, I'd be a little scared.
I know exactly what you got to say.
Because now you got this money that's basically cash.
Yep.
It's a little different. You could rob someone for cash and get away with it. You can't rob someone's bank account.
Right.
So do people know where you live and everything during this time?
They do, Vlad. So that's why I ended up moving. That's why I ended up moving, right? So look.
Because of that video, huh?
We started getting, it was never bad attention, but just the fact that people knew where I was started creeping me out. So I remember it was 2 different occasions, like somebody followed me home just to say what's up or be like, hey, I'm a big fan. And I remember at that moment having a conversation. So by this time, those 2 moms have moved out. We've parted ways. We're co-parenting, but we're no longer in a relationship. I'm in a whole brand new relationship. And Vlad, I remember looking up one day, in total cash, I had $4.3 million in the bank. And I was just like, it's time to go. I remember, me and this young lady ended up having a baby too, but she's visiting from Atlanta. We go in my room and my side of the bed is like on the floor. Her side is up in firm how it's supposed to be. And she was like, Derrick, this shit don't make no sense. You got all that money and you sleeping on the floor? Because she had never seen my house in Florida. And I was just like, man, I'm hustling. I don't care about the damn bed. But shortly after that is when I started investing heavy in real estate. And I took that 4.2, and I spent almost every dime on it, on real estate. Well, the 4 principles I live by: gold, guns, land, and self-love. But
okay, so what did you buy with that 4.3 million?
Me and my dad partnered up. We opened up our gun store down in Tampa, Grace's Ultimate Guns.
Okay. Still around?
Yeah, it's still around.
Okay.
We opened up a security company, Grace Private Security. We do dignitary, personal, private.
Huh.
I spent a great deal of it on real estate. And the rest of it went into gold, fine art. I'm big on art. I got an art gallery in my home.
What artists?
They're all like independent artists, so no big names.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I used to own, signed prints by like Keith Haring.
Oh, for real?
I got a Murakami, signed print. I never got to the point of getting originals for these guys, but these are like $5-10 million pieces.
Right. Absolutely.
I couldn't afford it. But yeah, I dabbled in the art world. The problem sometimes with art is that, number one, you need insurance.
Yeah.
So you're paying every year just to own the art.
Right.
And then when you sell, unlike selling a stock where you could, like I could sell, like $1 million worth of Google right now for $0 instantly. You sell art, you got to go to like Christie's. They go through the auction process and they take like 25-30% commission. I remember they hustled me. They were like, hey, you should price it a little bit lower so it could build up more.
Right.
Not telling me that if there's a greater jump from the initial price, they get a higher commission percentage.
Right.
You know, so
I had that happen to me with an estate sale. I tried to do one. The guy was like, he ended up being honest eventually. He was just like, I'm gonna be real with you, because I got a dining room set that's like $40,000 I got from Vegas. And he was like, yeah, man, nobody's biting on it. You want to just let me take it? And I'm like, sure, I want to get rid of it. How much? And he was like, well, because of your proximity, there's nobody in a 100-mile radius who typically can afford this type of stuff. So he was like, either drive it back to Vegas or just give it to me for $1,500. And in that moment, I just was like, yeah, this art shit is a little tricky. I don't know if I like this game.
yeah, it's a rough game.
Yeah.
It's a rough game. And yeah, certain pieces do appreciate, but other ones, you know, it's hard to say, especially talking about independent artists, new artists and so forth. It's a rough game to be in.